Hello dear students, I am Dr. Garima Srivastava from Lal Bahadur Shastri College, Lucknow. I am going to take up the topic of International Human Resource Management, its meaning and a model. So, starting off with human resource management, we need to understand what international human resource management means. Actually, when we talk about in terms of international, it means something across the boundaries of national country. Then of course, human resource management functions also change when we move from domestic human resource management department to an international human resource management. So, that is why it is important to understand why the term international that has been joined, that has been attached to human resource management term is important. So, here we can say international human resource management can be defined as a set of activities aimed at managing organizing human resources at international level to achieve organizational and achieve competitive edge over the national international level. So, when we talk about international human resource management, it not only deals with hiring of the specialized people who will work in the international environment, who will work in different countries for us, but also it also aims at achieving good skills, it aims at achieving the competitive skills so that they may handle the different operations that are there in the international countries. So, that is why human resource management is somewhat domestic human resource management is somewhat different from international human resource management. Now, international human resource management is actually a process of employing, training and development and compensating the employees in international and global organizations. Now, when we talk about international human resource management, it only deals with employing the people, hiring specialized personnel for working in the international environment, and it also deals with training and development and compensation package of these employees who will move from their native countries, who will move from their domestic countries to the international countries for the different operational purpose of the organization. So, for that purpose we need to understand how an international company works or an MNC works. An international company is one which has subsidiaries outside the home country. Now, here we are having a term that is called as home country. Now, home country is a country where the basic operations, where the base operations of organizations are worked out. So, that country is called as a home country. Now, when we move our operations, when we try to expand our operations in different other countries, like for example, suppose Coca-Cola or Pepsi is trying to expand in countries like Arab countries or India. So, here it would have to internationalize its product, it would have to set up different offices or say headquarters in India or Arab countries, so that its various operations related to these products are worked out in a very smooth manner. So, international company is one which has which works outside its home country, which relies on the business expertise or manufacturing capabilities of the parent country. That means it is important to understand over here that an international company, a company which moves outside its national borders for its various purposes or to sell its product in different other countries, it is important that it has certain capabilities of its own. Like I already gave an example of Pepsi or Coca-Cola, it has its own manufacturing capabilities, it has its own formulas for developing that particular syrup of Coca-Cola which is mixed with aerated drink. So, so for that purpose the specific composition of that is left to the country itself, left to the company itself, and rest of the things can be done in the host country where we are going to expand our operations. Similarly, if we talk about an MNC, it is considered to have a number of businesses in different countries, but managed as a whole from headquarters located in one country. Now, when we talk about an MNC, it always works on a particular principle that it is always located, its headquarters are always located in one country itself, that is its parent country. Now, headquarter location in parent country, it means all the basic decision making, all the basic planning for different years, say about 1 year or 5 year or so on, is being done at the headquarter itself, and other countries in the rest of the other countries wherever the product is being sold, they are called as subsidiaries. The subsidiaries are set up at there. So, the centralization of power is basically vested in the parent country where the company is located. Whereas if we compare in international company, the manufacturing capabilities are only kept with the parent country, otherwise other things can be located in the host country itself. So, now we can define, according to Pagor and Myers, international or domestic human resource management is a method of developing potentialities of employees. Now, it means developing of potentialities of employees. That means we already have specialized people, we already have skilled and experienced people within our organization, but we need their specific potentialities so that they can exploit these potentialities, exploit these skills when they move out of their own parent country to the other countries, so that so as to expand the business of the organization. Now, similarly, Edwin B. Flippo has also stated that international domestic human resource management involves what? Planning, organizing, directing and controlling. That means all the 4 steps of a specific you can say operations of a business. That means you have to plan, you have to organize everything, you have to categorize all the activities, then you have to direct the people that how they are going to work in the different environment, different countries, and of course, after everything has been done, evaluation of all the processes is being done. Then of procurement and development, compensation, integration. That means what we have to do? Planning of procurement of good people, procurement of skilled, experienced people. We have to develop them, we have to train them so that they are able to adjust in the different international environment. And then of course, if they are moving from their native countries to some other host country, how we are going to plan their compensation package so that their satisfaction level is also not decreased in the people who are moving out of the country. So, ultimately what it means? Ultimately it results in the maintenance of people for the purpose of contribution to the organizational, individual and social goals. So, ultimately we need to understand that international human resource management will be aiming at the integration of organizational, individual and social goals of the person. So, here we can see what actually IHRM means. It can be explained in 4 different terms. So, first of all, we are having multinational stages of development and its operational philosophy. It means how different companies operate within their parent country and how they expand, what strategies they take up when they move from their parent country to the host country. Similarly, when dealing with international human resource management, moving our people from the native country to the host country for the expansion of businesses, for the operation of businesses, it is important to understand the different environment of the different countries. Why? Because it is not necessary that all the rules and regulations, legislations, the environment, political environment of our own native country is similar to the environment of the country we are moving to expand. So, it is necessary to understand the different economical, political, then sociological, demographical environment of the country where we are going to expand. So, here if we talk about different environmental factor, it is important to understand that law and legal aspects of human resource management is a very important part. So, and the third one is the type of employees. So, on the basis of international human resource management, we can divide our employees into 3 types, that is HCN, PCN and TCN. Now, all these 3 with the integration of HR processes, we will be able to we will be able to function international human resource management in a very smooth and proper manner in an organization. So, if a human resource department is not efficient enough to handle all these complex situations when the company is going to expand in different countries, so it will be a blunder. So, in that case, it is important to understand, it is important to plan and direct and coordinate all the activities of types of employees, the various types of multinational companies and to understand the environmental factors, so as to efficiently and effectively run the international human resource management in the foreign countries wherever we are expanding. So, it is a systematic planning and coordination of fundamental organizational processes of job and work design. Now, of course, it is talking about job and work design. Now, when we talk about human resources, it is specifically deals with people, their problem, their efficiency, their skill sets, their experience sets. So, of course, when we are talking about people in terms of organization, we always talk about job and their work design. Now, what will be their job? What will be their job profile? What will be the different roles, responsibilities of the people who are moving from the native country to the host country? Then again, staffing, how you are going to, what will be the organizational structure that you will be hiring the people, whether there will be lower level management, whether there will be middle level management or the higher level management people, how many people you are going to keep. Then again, who will be the people who will be from the native country and who will be the people who will be hired from the same host country. Then again, training and development. Now, training, when we talk about training and development, it is important to understand that when the people move from one country to the other country, the cultures change. Now, when the cultures change, the culture of one country is different from the other country. Sometimes the people are not able to adapt themselves to the new culture that the new country has. So, over there a type of training or a development kind of program should be given to the people who are moving from the home country to the host country, so that they are able to understand the different cultural change and they are prevented from the cultural shock that they can have. Then again, appraising is a important part of international human resource management. Why? Because people are moving out of your organization, moving out of their own native country to the host country, so as to expand the organization's business. Now, over here, if we are not going to appraise, if we are not going to reward people in the same pattern, if we are not going to compensate people with the same pattern, maybe sometimes people will want that the family is also shifted to the host country. So, over there what will be the costing of the organization? Will the organization be able to cope up with the increased you can say increased expense of the person who is moving with family? So, over here it is important to understand it is a systematic planning, so that international human resource can be implemented in a very proper manner. So, overall we can say international human resource management is dealing with all the processes of hiring of people, training and development of people, compensating the people from the native country who are ready to move from the native countries to the host country, and of course, all this will lead to will have an objective of integrating what? Integrating the organizational, individual and social goals of the person. Now, moving on to the very next topic, that means model of international human resource management. Now, when we talk about model of human resource management, it is important to understand what are the basic concept or what are the basic elements of an international human resource management. Now, I have been talking about human resource management, and I also told you about the international concept of human resource management. Now, when we talk about international human resource management, it deals with basically three elements. The very first element is HR activities, then we have the type of employees and the type of countries we are going to expand the business, or type of countries we are going to operate our business into. So, whenever the company has decided to expand in a different country, that means it is trying to cross the border of its own nationals. So, over there a number of complexities come into play. Like for example, we have a very good example of software industry over here. Suppose a person sitting in Australia is working for a US based organization which is into software development, and his client is sitting in India. So, over here we have three different countries playing their own part. So, it becomes a complex organization where the people from different countries are sitting together and working for one another in a different environmental setup. So, over here it is important to understand for human resource department that how the people are going to efficiently use their skills, their experience sets, so that the productivity of the organization is not decreased. So, over here the very first element, the HR activities. Now, when we talk about the HR activities, activities actually means the basic part, the human resource functions, allocations and their utilization. Now, when we talk about human resource functions are none other than the basic functions of human resources. That means hiring of the people, then hiring of good talent according to the job specifications, job descriptions, and then again planning them, then giving them certain kind of trainings and development if they are required, and then placing them to the right person at the right place. So, basic function of human resource management would be finding the right set of people, with the right set of skills and you can say experiences, and placing them at the right places in the organization at the very right time, so that loss of the time and loss of the money of the organization is not at all there. So, human resource functions actually aims at what? It aims at placing the right, finding the right people for the right place at the right time in the organization. Now, second important activity of human resource management is allocation. Now, allocation, when we talk about allocation, it seems to be a very easy term, but it is a very complex term when we actually allocate our human resources at different you can say processes or functions in the organizations. Now, when we have, suppose we have one person who is multi-skilled. He is an engineer, he can work on operations also, he can also handle finances. Now, how can I allocate this person to different jobs according to his specializations? Now, this is a very complex process. So, over here the department needs to understand the specific skill sets for a job, and then allocating the different roles and responsibilities to the person who can handle them in a very correct manner with the use of their own skill sets. Then again, after both of these functions, the human resource functions and the allocation process, it will what ultimately lead to effective utilization of human resources. That means whatever human resources we have, whatever skill sets we have in the organization, pool sets we have, talent pool we have in the organization, we need to understand that who can be utilized at what place, into which functions, into which processes in a very effective manner. So, if we are able to take out that much utilization, say optimal utilization of one particular human resource in the organization, so it will ultimately lead to what? It will lead to higher productivity, higher efficiency of the people of the organization. Then coming down to the very next point, that is categories of countries. So, now we have understood about the different skill sets of the existing skill sets of the people, those who are there in the organization. Now, if we are moving outside our national boundaries, where we need to understand the different categories of the country. Now, if we divide, if we see that how the countries are divided, we have three types of countries: home country, host country, and the third, or the we can say other country. Now, home country I have already talked about. We can say home country or the parent country where the headquarter is located. Now, headquarter means the basic functions of the organizations are performed at this headquarter. That means all the basic decision makings, important decision makings, long term plannings, say for 5 years, all of these are being done for the from the home country itself. Then comes the host country where the subsidiary is located. Now, we call it as a term of subsidiary. Why? Because of course, it is a sub part of the headquarter, and it will not be performing all the functions that the headquarter performs. It may perform some or the other part of the manufacturing process. Say for example, if I am talking about Coca-Cola or Pepsi, the bottling process, the preparation of the liquid that has to be filled in this bottling process, this can be done in the subsidiaries, but the basic formula that is being manufactured in the home or the parent country. Then comes your third type of country, that is third country, third nations, or we can say the other country. Now, these are the countries where neither the headquarters are located, neither the subsidiaries are located. So, what are they going to do? They can be the countries from where we will be hiring the human resources, from where we will be taking up finances or loans or credits for the organization. So, we may or may not take the help of these third countries or third nation countries for the purpose of expansion of the business. So, these are the three categories of countries which come into play as soon as we talk about international human resource management. Then comes the third type, that is the types of employees in international human resource management. Now, of course, we need to understand that the people who are working in the native country are different from the people who are working in the host country, and of course, they will be different in every aspect. They may be different in skill sets, experience sets, of course, they may be from different cultures, different backgrounds. So, we as HR, as human resource people, we need to understand the various psychology sets, various skill sets that are needed for the people to move from the home country to the host country. So, international human resource management involves contribution of nationals of various countries who use their skills efficiently for the growth of the organization. So, over here the growth of the organization and growth of the skill sets of the people is also important. So, when we talk about international human resource management, everything is there, but the most important is that we need to develop the skill sets of the people, competencies of the people, so that they are able to handle the different situations that come up in the host country where they are going to work. So, they are mainly divided into three types. We can say parent or home country nationals, host country nationals, or third country nationals. Now, as the name suggests, we can say parent or home country nationals are those people who are from the country where the headquarters are located. So, these are the three types of differentiated people, differentiated types of employees we can have when we talk in terms of international human resource management. So, they can be divided on the basis of their nationalities. Now, who are the home country nationals, or we can say parent country nationals, PCNs? Home country nationals are the employees of the organizations, and these are the citizens of the country where the headquarters are located. So, now when we talk about people, when we talk about types of employees in the organization, it is important to understand their nationality, the country to which they belong. So, the people who belong to the parent country, who belong to the country where the headquarters of the company is located, they are termed as home country nationals or parent country nationals. Then second is host country nationals. Host country nationals are the citizens of the country where subsidiary is located, or when any organization recruits nationals of the country where the subsidiary is located. Now, when we talk about host country nationals, of course, host countries people will be addressed over here. So, the people who are working in the organization, if they are the citizens of the host country where we have located our subsidiaries for various functions of the organization, they will be termed as host country nationals. Now, we need to understand that the compensation package for parent country nationals or host country nationals will be way different from each other. Why? Because the different laws, taxations and tariffs that will be treaties that will be applicable to both these types of people will be different. So, we need to understand the planning of compensation package for both of these types of people who are working in the organization. Now, we have one more type of employees in the organization, that is the third country nationals, TCNs. Now, when we talk about the third country nationals, they are the citizens from the other countries. They are neither from the country where the headquarters is located, neither from the country where the subsidiary is located. Like for example, I gave an example of software industry where the client was from India. So, over here the person who is sitting in India is being served by a person who is sitting in Australia for a US based firm. So, over here a third type of employee come into play, that is the third country national. Over here again the compensation package will have to be understood before placing him at in the organization. Now, coming down to the very next point, that is the what is the basic objectives of human resource management. Now, when the organization moves from one nation to the other nation, many types of environments come into play, and when we talk about it in a global scenario, it becomes important to understand the process of HR hiring, staffing of the people, their compensation packages, then again the appraising of HR for a better utilization of people. So, when we talk about international human resource management, it is a process of managing people in an international venture and involves activities in at least 2 nations. Now, why do we do so? It enhances to develop managerial skills, organizational knowledge, technical abilities of HR manager and employees. Of course, we when we target the people, when we aim at developing the people, training the people, we are already aiming at developing the capabilities of existing skill sets in the organization. So, it ultimately enhances the existing skill sets of the people who are there in the organization. Then secondly, we can have to develop more and better handle of global business operations. So, why do we train? Why do we train these people? We train these people so that they when they are going to handle the similar situation in different countries, they will be able to handle them in a very efficient manner, in a very proper manner. Then to manage and secure the performance, compensation and career path of the employees. So, sometimes people need some extra things, some extra benefits from the job. So, such people, if they are looking forward to increase, looking forward on their career path, they want some kind of growth, some kind of integration of their individual goals in the organization, they can definitely take up the path of international human resource management for growth, for progress in the organization. Then to manage an organize cross culture counseling and language training program. Now, of course, when we are moving cross the border, we need to understand the language problems that the person will be facing. We will be needing to understand the we will be needing to counsel the person so that he is free from cultural shocks. Then coming down to sixth point, to raise and develop better and new performance management of the human resources, to get more and more opportunities with global HR scenario, and to reduce the cultural differences as amicably for cultural environment. Now, we can say in totality, we can say that international human resource management deals with what? Deals with upgrading of existing people with their existing skill sets and capabilities, so that they are able to handle the operations that are going to come up in the host country, and with these skill sets they will be able to integrate organizational individual and social goals. Thank you.